What's happening, people? It's Kanza here, and in today's video I'll be talking about how to fight Katalina. So without further ado, let's get into it. So similar to the other videos, it's going to be the same format. I'm just going to talk about the specials and her super and anti-airs and just a couple tips and tricks to know. Just so that everyone can get up to speed, and if you're struggling with anything, hopefully this video will help you. So first I'm going to start off talking about her fireball. So she has the standard fireball like everyone else, and an EX fireball, right? So as I've said before, when you've got like zoning type characters, not that she particularly is one, but she can keep you out if she doesn't want you to get in with her very fast normals, which have good ranges, but she has your typical fireballs, which are the light, medium, and then the EX version. So with these, as I said before, you don't necessarily have to stand there and block them all the time like this. But what I would suggest is trying to get in, because once you've got in, the actual fireball actually takes longer to recharge. So if he was just to throw it, I block it, it's back. Okay, but if he throws it, I evade. See, it takes longer. It takes longer for it to come out. That's why the recorded version of it didn't actually play properly, because it was supposed to jab, throw the fireball, jab, throw the medium fireball, but it couldn't do that because it was still charging up. Whereas if I just blocked it, she can throw it again and again, right? So this is what happens in matches. But if I, as I said, let me evade. Oops, sorry, evade that. There you go. See. Because of it recharging, the input is a bit messed up. So I'd always suggest, just like if you can, dash in and then start hitting him. Her EX version beats every other fireball. So here's an example. You can't trade it. You can't trade with regular or mediums because it will go through. So you have to use an EX of your own, right, to beat it. Or what I'd suggest is, if you can read it, dash through, like that. Another thing you can do, this might be a bit more character specific with Percival, but if you can read it's coming out, if you actually EX DP, because of the way that his DP works, he steps forward and then he goes like through the ball. So this works for all of her fireballs. So an example would be if she's zoning me out, she's zoning me out with her mediums, her lights, and then she throws the fireball like that. Right, you get ready, wait for it, like that. So when you can react to it and you can get the gist of when they're gonna throw it out, you can do that. That might work with like Gran or some other character if you're like in like close quarters, and you can kind of like guess which is gonna throw it out. But that's just something to note. Now the next thing I want to talk about is her parry, right? Which is this. So her unique ability, where she gains armor, and then afterwards she gets a hit at full charge. It stuns you, and then she can actually continue a full-on combo, right? So let me play it. So hold on, sorry. Here you go. Cool. So here we go. So even if I'm blocking, right? So if I'm blocking, so what actually happens is, let me turn the frame advantage on for you guys so you can actually see. It's actually your turn after that, right? So technically, you can press. If you block it, bang, punish. So don't let them, because we see a lot of Katalina players do, they just walk up to you and they'll just throw it out, and then if you block it, they'll continue mashing, or in some cases they may DP, but it's not real. As I said, it's a punish. If that's for the full charged version. So the light version like that, where it's barely charged, you can still punish it. So don't let them, as I said, abuse that move in your face, because then you're going to be ending up getting chip damage and holding things that you shouldn't need to hold when it's actually your turn to punish back. Now the next thing I want to talk about is her DP. So it's the same standard DP that like every other character has. Light, medium, and then EX, right? So all of these are punishable. So punish. So literally just wait for them to hit the floor, then you can punish her. That's pretty much it. It's quite standard. You don't need to do anything technical like crouch cancel, do this, or none of that stuff. Wait for them to land on the floor, then you can punish, right? What may happen is with some people, they might preemptively try to punish it, like they see like, oh, but just be patient with this game, especially like with certain characters and matchups. Be patient and wait for the right opportunity, the right moment, and you'll get your reward for it. So the next thing I'm going to talk about, her next ability, which is her lunge, which is this, right? So this move here, right? So what you'll see is a lot of Katalina players will they will lunge at you, and you technically can't necessarily punish this move unless they've done it point blank. So I'm gonna record this now. So she runs in my face, lunge like that, right? Block, then I can punish, okay? But if it's at tip range now, like this, right? You won't always get the punish for it because it's out of range sometimes. But there are times. So let me be a bit more closer. So about here. Sorry, let me try that again. So about here. About here, roughly. Yeah. So at tip range like that, she can block it. So a bit further out. But a good Katalina player will know whereabouts to use it. So it depends as well, because certain characters have pretty poor ranges. So like for example Lancelot, he wouldn't always be able to punish this attack, so it's kind of character specific, but also she can make it not punishable at certain ranges. So that's why I try and say make sure you're like within mid range of her at all times, even though she's going to keep poking you out and throwing fireballs. Try and be here, and so just in case she does certain things, if you get a hard read on a fireball, you can dash in, punish and all that stuff. The EX version can be charged like that, and it does guard break, right? So here's an example. Bang, guard crush, okay? But after the guard crush is even, so it's not that you can't do anything, you can, but just be very careful in that situation. If he just does it instantly, so let me show you now, like that. It's not a guard crush, and you can punish her, okay? And now finally, the last bit I want to talk about is her supers. So this super here is 3 hits. So she does 2 slashes, and then there's the last bit where you can start punishing her, where she comes down and she hits the ground. So I'll show you again. Here we go. So you don't want to like try and do like jump anti-airs and all that stuff, because it's gonna get you killed. Like you can try, but I wouldn't suggest it. Like you can DP, but I'd suggest you just block the last hit and then get a big punish afterwards, right? So for example, something like this, right? You can just get a big punish just from blocking, nothing over the top, right? But yeah, just make sure you block the last hit, because if you don't, then you're literally just kind of like shooting yourself in the foot. Because obviously you might get a bit impatient in the match and then just want her to die essentially, right? So just wait for it, wait for the last hit. That's why it's kind of forcing people, not forcing, but trying to engrave into people just to be like patient in this game, because there's a lot of things that you might think, oh, it's my turn now, and then no, you just get killed for it, right? So just be very patient and just know when it's your turn and when you can do certain things. And finally, her SkyBound Art, which is this move here. Okay, similar to her super, you want to wait till she kind of like hits the floor. Bang, 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 and then do your punishes and whatsoever, right? Don't go crazy and be like, oh, I can do this and all that stuff. Just keep it simple. The simpler you are in your punishment. Obviously I'm saying you can do optimal combos and all that's fine, but just don't go over the top and try and like, I need to make a highlight reel or whatever, because that will start making you lose matches, right? So just be very simple with what you're doing. Try and not get poked out too much. She's going to be pressing a lot of her 2Ms into fireballs like this. So when she's doing all of this stuff, or 2M like that, even that, what you want to be doing in these situations, right, is just kind of like try and make the read, right? Because you can even super like that on reaction, okay? So it's just be patient and know what you can and what you can't do, and just try and stay in mid-range with her, because she's going to be like controlling the area of where you're getting very well. So just be very sure that you know what you're doing, and just pay attention literally to everything that she's doing. So I hope this video has helped anyone. It's kind of similar to the Grand video. It's not too technical because the character doesn't have anything too absurd, like in terms of just like cross ups or, you know, cross up lows and all that stuff, right? Or side switching. But even though that these characters are quite simple, Gran and Katalina, they're still like top 3 in my opinion, top 3, top 4. So just be very careful of like when you're in the corner and stuff like that. But that's just the general understanding of how their abilities work, and just things to remember what's punishable and what's not. So I hope this has helped anyone. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and post your comments down below. Peace.